Hi Arthur, how are you?
I'm doing well.
You've been doing well lately, or
Uh,
how's it been going for these past few weeks?
um, I don't know. I find myself late at night thinking like, what's the point? And I get these like thoughts of like, what's the point of going to school or work? I only got one life to live. I want to make the most of it. So, I want to go out. I want to see people and have fun and just live my life. I feel like the times are clicking.
It is. Before we go further, I do want to remind you that our session is confidential unless you pose a threat to yourself or to others, and that's including seniors or children. So, whatever you want to share with me, unless you don't want to share with me, it stays between you and I. Okay? I know that you've had struggles or trying to cope around that relationship that you had with Alex. So how have you been working with that or managing it?
Well, let's see. I often think that as crappy as he was, he's the one that knew me the best, and maybe, we needed to work it out better. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a possibility. We broke up in April, and that was not the last time I seen him. It got pretty physical when we broke up.
Do you think that's healthy
No.
for you?
No. I struggle with this because I personally have a low tolerance for violence. So I won't demonstrate violent behavior, but I will defend myself if I need to. And when people do things like that, I personally don't think that you don't care for them. You don't hit people you love. I understand you get angry, but like, you don't do shit like that. So when he goes off and he swings, I just don't.
Well, it's good that you can definitely depict or understand what kind of relationship it's heading towards or what it has been between the two of you. So the fact that you can recognize that it's been, a struggle, especially with putting your hands on one another, or can be perceived as abusive. It's good that you can, see through that and understand that it's not healthy for you. What are the current situations with Alex, or even with your anxiety levels and depression? Where do you think you're going as far as that goes?
I just try to like keep myself busy so I don't have time to become anxious.
That's good.
Yeah, I just wish I had better things to keep me busy. Because I drink, but I don't want to drink to distract.
That's also good. So you're recognizing the good things, the things that that you're, the areas where you're having a lot of more problems or struggles with. So that's pretty much what your outlets of drinking. It's okay to socially drink, but it's not okay to excessively drink, right? Because it's not healthy for you. And then it starts to make a cloud over your decisions, right? With work, it becomes an issue with work, with school, with the important things that you need to have control of over your life.
Definitely. And admittedly, most of the time I have had some sort of relations with someone, I have almost always been drunk. I'm aware, I actively pursue it, but I wonder if I would if I wasn't drinking.
Be absolutely sober and cognitive while you're making these decisions.
Right, like, or am I just doing it because I'm drunk and I cut the edge off and I'm like, whatever, you know?
So do you find yourself doing that when you're most feeling like you're sad or you're anxious or you're thinking about things in the past? When do you find yourself doing those things the most? Or having like these irresponsible binge drinking moments, or the unsafe provocative sex, how you say it?
When I am alone. Like, and usually when I fall asleep, if I'm by myself, I almost always wake up in the night a number of times anxious. Like, I can't breathe, and I panic, or I think, like, if I was to die right now, no one would know. And I don't like to sleep alone for that reason. And I don't know if that's because Alex is no longer sleeping next to me, or if I've always had that issue, or I don't know if it's because, I don't know what is happening.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, it sounds fair. You're used to having Alex next to you. You're used to having another person with you. So that's a big change. It's a big change from being with someone for a certain amount of years to absolutely being alone. It's a change that you have to learn how to live with and cope with, and it's not an easy one. But what are ways that you think that can help you? Like, what are things that can help you cope with that change of being alone? Do you think, like, maybe we can use like an example, like maybe you talk to your mom or to your family often?
Oh my God, they stress me out.
Okay, so we're not going to use that. No stressful, presence for you or anything of that nature. So something positive, something that that can calm you down and put you at ease, especially when you need it the most, which in this case for you would be nighttime.
Well, what I tried to do initially was, and it's gonna sound stupid, my cat, Cuervo.
That's an excellent way.
And he used to sleep next to me naturally, so like that would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And then it stopped being helpful. Like, even with him next to me, I still get anxious now. Before I would help out for a little bit, and then now it's just like, oh my God, it's still happening.
I feel like you need or are in need of that human connection, or that affection.
Which is so weird, because when I sleep next to people, I'm like, don't touch me, don't get away from me.
But maybe it's a safety thing. Maybe you feel a lot more safer.
Yeah.
Around a person. Maybe you feel more embraced.
Yeah, because again, I just
and
don't.
Safe, since you have, some concerns and some anxiety about, death and aging. You're obviously, a cat can't help you if you need to call 911. So I can understand the feeling of wanting an actual person next to you.
Yeah, that's true too, because I also have, for some weird reason, made a plan that if I start choking or I am bleeding, I had developed a plan of going to my neighbor's place and banging the hell out of her door and then asking her to fucking help me. Because I won't have no one to do the Heimlich,
Well, that's a real reasonable way of thinking. But how can you do that if you're choking?
And then run and just, I don't know. I always leave my front door unlocked for that reason too.
So how about working on those fears? Those mental fears that something of that nature is actually going to happen to you. Maybe some Zen music or some sounds, for some people, hearing the sounds of the ocean or birds chirping can calm their surroundings. And even some people use it to fall asleep.
Yeah, because rain does that for me.
Rain. Some people is a fan. People use different ways to cope with having some type of way to help them sleep. Maybe you can try something of that nature. Try that for a week, at least for your fears, for a whole solid week. And you can contact me and let me know if that's not helping for you. Some Pandora sound of the ocean waves or birds chirping or raindrops or something. I know they have apps for that. And just put it next to you and help you, rest at least peacefully, because then it's interrupting your sleep. Yeah. And then if you're not having enough sleep, you can't cope with your work and your school life.
Ugh. Yes.
Right?
I mean, I'll try that.
So, is there something else besides Alex or someone else that you think might be the reason for your depression and your anxiety?
Most of my anxiety always comes up. I don't know where the depression comes from. I think the depression comes from the anxiety. Okay, let me just explain. So I always have these, I'm telling you, I'm just driving to work or to school or something, and I think, wow, I am spending all this time and energy in developing myself only to die at the end of it all. And then it's why do all that when I could travel or live like a monk or something more peaceful? And what's the point? And so then I start getting anxious, and then I get depressed, what is the point of everything? But it's never in a way of I want to hurt myself, because I definitely don't want to die.
Okay, that's good.
So I don't want you to think I'm going to try to kill myself.
You're passionate about living. But maybe is finding ways for you to focus on the positive instead of the negative. It seems like your mind seems to go into the negative versus the positive. So looking at the positive way or thinking of why is it that you're going to school? You're going to school for a reason.
Yes.
What is that reason?
To help people.
To help people. In what ways?
I mean, the whole reason why I started school was I wanted to help people not go through what I go through mentally. I mentally torture myself. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to make sure that no one else has to do that. Or that nobody else gets bullied, or that nobody else gets treated like crap by other people, and that everyone feels heard and important.
That seems like a pretty good reason to continue doing what you originally wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right? What about the drinking? What do you think we can do for your drinking? I don't want you to completely feel like you can't do it, because I feel like it'll be eventually causing you to want to do it, the binge drinking, but maybe do it responsibly.
Yeah, I'm in that weird area of do I just cut it all together, or do I just keep on? But I think the same way that if I try to cut it all together, it's when your mother tells you not to do something, the first thing you want to do is do what she told you not to do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Which is why we don't want to completely cut it off your life, because it's obviously something that helps you cope with this. I just don't want it to be in a negative way.
Okay.
I want it to, if it's going to be something that you're going to go to, maybe decrease the amount that you're actually drinking. So instead of having a mother load, right, you can just maybe bring it down to a different drink. So let's say if you're into the hard alcohol, maybe we can switch it over to wine, something more subtle, and maybe 1 to 2 cups or glasses of wine, and see if that helps you. Wine normally helps mellow things out when you have a hard day, so maybe we can try that instead.
Okay, I can give that a shot.
So, friends or family, is there anybody that around you that brings that positive energy and that nice advice for you, that brings you very quickly from a dark place into a really nice happy place?
Yeah, my cousin, Steph. She's my favorite in my family. Everyone else in my family, they just drain me. They're all needy people, which is ironic considering I want to help people, but
But you know what? You can't help others if you're not really helping yourself. You have to understand the place that you're in first before you can, you know, be efficient to somebody else. You know, so I would say definitely go to Steph. She seems like the person that actually wants to be there for you, especially to hear you out and to make sure that you don't fall flat on your face. And obviously I'm here for that too. But she's more of a family base that you can literally, you know, put your 1000% trust in and a sense of familiarity. Like, she understands where you're coming from times that I didn't know you from.
Yeah.
You know, that probably goes back to since babies, that probably goes back, you know, childhood. It goes back way long before our relationship started.
Yes.
So reach out to her when you can't sleep. Reach out to her if you want to have a casual drink. Maybe she can have one with you instead of you finding the bar, the closest place where you can binge drink, because there's just going to be 1,000 drinks in front of you.
Right.
You know? And helping, you know, just with that self-control. Okay? So, boundaries. Poor boundaries. Very quickly.
Oh, so I can hardly ever never say no to people.
Why you feel that?
I don't know. I just always feel like, oh man, they're asking for help, or they really need this, or if they didn't need this, they wouldn't ask. And oftentimes that puts me in
Awkward position.
Yeah. It's like, damn, I don't want you to ask me these things, but at the same time, it's like, you need help, so of course I'm gonna help you with these things. And then I do that until I explode on people, because I just have had so much, and then I'm just like...
And that's absolutely natural sometimes, when you feel like a lot is expected from you, and you want to give them the world, but the reality is that you really can't. So, as far as boundaries, if you want to help, absolutely be helpful in what you can, but never strain yourself or feel like you have to do more than what you're able to, because that's going to be another factor where you have anxiety and depression, because you want to save the universe, but there's just way too many people in the universe. You know, let's start with yourself, and then you can help people in small increments with the things that you're able to do. Okay? So I will see you in another week to see how that sound effect is working for you for your sleep, as far as anxiety, to get your mind off of the aging. We're all going to age, but you can do it in a beautiful way, right? About the death. Even though, yes, we're all going to get there, but there's a purpose why we're doing what we're doing. There's a purpose why you do what you want to do. You're going to school because you have a purpose. You have a plan to help people. So, yes, we're going to die, but at least you would accomplish your goals before that happens. You're drinking, we're going to work on it 1 to 2 glasses of wine instead of anything hard. You're going to reach out to Steph if you ever feel like you're in a place where you need to talk to somebody or you're just going to burst. You can always call me as well if you feel like you can't get a hold of her at that moment. And engaging in the unsafe provocative sex, how you put it, we're just, you know, gonna try to, definitely you have to, you know that you have to have safe sex with anybody, but it's not gonna be something that's gonna help you in the long run. It's just gonna be a temporary satisfaction, you know? So eventually, maybe down the line, you'll find somebody that you're gonna love and care for, just like Alex, but working there safely. And your boundaries. You're gonna say no when you know that you cannot complete that task for somebody else. And you're just gonna have to allow yourself to do that. You can help people, that's completely fine. And to the point where you know that it's gonna stress you out, that's when you know that it's just too much for you. you have to stop it. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Arthur. Nice seeing you.
Thank you.